Are you a drama channel or a dramatic channel? I haven't fucked a single person in my life. Everyone I talked to was online. Dark humor is hating the French. I don't think you've actually watched my content, bro. Also, it's literally my bio that film cells aren't real. Good video though, just do more research. Well. It seems like I have been vindicated once again. Another win for the ZLM nation. You can formally submit your apology card down below. Yes, we're back. We're talking about her again. The Goyim's favorite plaything. And I have amazing presidential news. The Pakistani Vtuber is gone. The Witch of Salem is dead. She was burned at the stake. Her body desecrated by the local rats. For the people that might not know her, let's do a quick recap. Elfinpsyop, or as some of you may know her as, Elfinpsyop was a VTuber lolly-baiter femcel that never had sex or dated anyone. Guys, you gotta trust me, please guys, you gotta trust me, dude. She's literally just a carbon copy of any other edgy VTuber slut and somehow was able to maintain her popularity for longer than she should have, due to no small part of her community mostly being comprised of 40-year-old pedophiles. Elfin spent most of her career doing coal mining content farming on Twitter for shekels, streaming on YouTube.
Have you been molested? Obviously!
And grooming minors, but can we not talk about this right now? Now, last time I did say that her humor was hating the French, but I was underestimating. Actually, it's about hating the Jews and having intercourse with animals. Classic Pakistani humor. Guys, it's the Jews, it's the Jews! They're making me tweet all of this and they're making us import immigrants, even though I'm one of them. Please, Keir Starmer, if you can hear me, activate the Israeli control protocol and ship Elfinpsyop back to Pakistan, where she can be stoned to death for being an alcoholic streetwalker. Now, in most of the other videos exposing her online antics, there's a factor that's never really talked about, a strange little element that seems to fly under everyone's heads, and that would be Elfinpsyop connections with the Bible. The Last Supper was the final meal Jesus shared with his Discord buddies on a voice call in the BPD Sludge server, before he was /killed by the Romans. And much like it, on April 18, the user Average Bird would take the role of Judas and decide to betray Elfinpsyop, our Jesus, and expose her on Twitter. The main evidence coming from the most surprising of places, Discord, where she was cucking 6, yes you heard me right, 6 other guys. The apostles being Bird 1, Bird 2, you get the point. As any good e-relationship goes, it begins with Average Bird receiving a joke DM about how he should fix Elfin. Any other rational person would just take a couple of laughs and move on, but not Bird. Something inside of him grew, and it was in his heart. So he decided to approach her with a message of support and love, in which she took a really long time to answer. Her response is littered with red flags, specifically the part where she starts trauma dumping randomly. Why do women do this? For any other person, this would have been a deal breaker. Like I said, Bird is not like any other person. He's a good man. Happy to provide. And so they start developing in what I can only describe as a parasitic relationship, with professions of love while under the influence. Oh, to be young again. I love you too. Wait until you sober up to say that. This guy talks like a fucking redditor. This friendship would slowly build up to her suddenly sending explicit pictures of herself unprompted. What? Naturally after this the relationship would blossom, like a tree being set on fire. Late nights watching La La Land, and drunk texting, and sexting while drunk, and texting while sexting. There's a lot of those in the document, it gets annoying after a while. I just want to say that she fucking sucks at drunk texting. Go grab a bottle of wine right now and try it yourself, see how it goes. People don't talk like this. It seems like alcohol fries the little neurons she has left. And now, a poem, open quotes. Birdie, birdie. If you just touch my, no way, my puffy, it'll make me fub. Kun, tilit faster, kinuiku, you know it, I'm Zeus, what the fuck gental. Truly beautiful. When he was home, she was horny. When he was at work, she was also horny. Me when I have to leave work early because Elfin's puffy is wet. I recommend reading the document if you want a couple of laughs. Yeah, I could tell you were being a clinging drunk, but thought I'd remind you anyway. Obligatory. I won't leak anything or otherwise be a shitter, so don't be worried about that. I think we know what we would have done in his shoes. Killed her. In the Bible, Moses spent 40 days and nights on top of Mount Sinai, receiving the 10 commandments. In this timeline being the 10 cuckeenings. At the same time, while Moses was doing that, Bird was planning a trip to the UK to meet his longtime friends. Naturally, he asked Elfin if she wanted to meet up, in which, after weeks of talking to each other, watching La La Land, and talking about her puffy, she said no. I'm joking, that would be too easy for her. Instead, she proceeds to shit talk him on a private group chat and ridicule him for ever wanting to meet up with her. Women really are evil, man. I told Bird I'd meet him, Lamau. I'm kidding. I'm scared of meeting people online, Lamau. I had a really bad experience once. During the time he was in the UK visiting his pals, the cuckening would commence with Apostle Merrick, where she would go on to touch her kitty together, her puffy clearly palpitating. In voice chat, of course, which I can only imagine went something like this. Oh, you're so hot. After the fact, admitting directly to Bird in DMs, just audio. All the evidence of conversations in text have been deleted, but that was her kashikoi, turned on by my voice. The Goyim have lost it. In which he would respond, well, that is indeed heartbreaking. This guy's gotta go, man. It seems like Elfin was actively talking to them at the same time and fucking them back to back. He would then confront Elfin, at which point she would try to justify herself by saying she was just being exploited. Me when I'm mildly drunk and I have to jerk off on a Discord call. The way my embarrassment and weakness is being exploited. Stop that. New epic Mr. Beast challenge. 1,000 women versus accountability. You would think by this point he would have blocked her and moved on with his life, but Bud didn't do that. As I mentioned before, he's not like any other guy. He's dedicated to the craft of the cuck. So he decided to book another flight to the UK in December. Jesus Christ. They started planning the trip together, all the while Elfin kept bringing up sexual topics. But Bird, being the most celibate autistic trussel individual probably like ever, kept turning her down and dismissing it. Or maybe he's just gay. Alright, well, here's what's going to happen. You're gonna spend Christmas with her, you're gonna destroy her puffy, and then, one day, you will wake up and realize you haven't thought about it. You're objectively attractive, holy fuck. I'm not. Okay, Jamie, pull up her picture on screen, please. Whoa, he's right. She is objectively attractive, holy fuck. Unfortunately, some sick fuck used AI to make her face look like a bullfrog. I hope they get him. Before I get into these interactions, I want to specify that Elfin is her own person, and as such, is allowed to see anyone she wants to see, assuming they're of age. What did he see? Bro had a vision. Now, what if I told you that until now, she was actually cucking him with another like 4 guys? You'd probably believe me, and you'd be right to do so. They all share the same sin of trusting her deified lies. There's Shovel, that did nothing, Captcha, that mass reported her and licked her face, and 2 other guys. Look, they all got cucked the same way. As the saying goes, hate the sin, and also hate the sinners, because this is fucked up, dude. Anyways, they all start to find out, so she created a group chat with all her cuck victims, which honestly, I commend her for that. Big power move. Naturally, everyone there would start sharing on her at once, in which she would defend herself by saying she was only a 19-year-old child, you sick fucks. In the end, nothing would really come out of it besides her friends leaving and her making a depressed post about how everybody abandons her. But this wouldn't be the end of Elfin. Unfortunately, she wouldn't give up that easily. On Christmas night, just like the homeless guy that lives around my house predicted, the spirit of Jesus of Nazareth lowered down from the heavens, answering my long-awaited prayer.
I'm drunk enough to come out. I'm Pakistani, mom's side, and Ukrainian, dad's side. I'm Hafi.
Yes, I knew she was brown all along. I am not crazy. Naturally, she was mercilessly bullied even by her own fans. Actually, Muslims are right. Pork is disgusting, bro. Big balls, Mog, once again. Guys, I'm too cute to be Indian. Indian balls win once again. And decides to deactivate due to the hate she was getting. Gets called brown once. Fucking dies. The next couple of days are eerily quiet. The birds were singing, the streets weren't filled with poop, there wasn't as much coal posting, besides rock solid. And it seemed, for a bit, the internet was flourishing and healing again. We actually won, we did it, guys! On January 4th, Jesus was baptized in the waters of Jordan River, where the Father and Holy Spirit manifested him as the beloved Son of God. She too blessed the world with her return, saying that she needed a little break and went to visit London because she was already 21, a full-grown adult. This will be important for later. Elfin seemed to not learn anything and immediately resumed her normal posting as if nothing had happened. But everyone knows this is not something you can come back from. The Brown allegations. The difference between Pakistanis and Indians is that Pakistanis hate Jews and Indians worship them. Sorry, I'll never change. Get a job, nigga. During this time, screenshots of her allegedly making one of her 16-year-old fans draw NSFW art of her would start to spread around with a video. I wonder who made that video, where she had some weird interactions with him, to say the least. Like drawing a comic of her getting by another woman. And for the people saying she didn't know, I mean, she interacted with him on Twitter and he said his age there, so I don't know. You might want to check the person drawing an SFW art of you is a minor or not. But then, on January 6, Elfin was dying by a dying light to post and tag Brody Fox of the Yo Mama channel with a real video of the average Elfinpsyop fan. In response, the Mossad activation chip in his brain made him respond with the thread exposing her as a groomer, making it one of the most epic Yo Mama moments. Of course, the Israeli chip would later fry and make him start shilling cryptocurrency, but oh well, you win some, you lose some. She would try to ignore it again and make joking remarks of how all the drama was actually her being a hecking cool fad. Haha, I tricked you guys, you don't get it, the grooming is bait! Now, amongst the crowds cancelling her, there was a small group of evil people, terrible people, that decided to start spreading her nudes. I can't endorse this behavior because they were honestly like ungunnable, I can't gun to this. Finally, fed up with this gookly gook, she mustered up all of her collected 70 IQ points and claimed she lied about her age being 19. Actually, being 17 when she started streaming, which would in turn mean that instead of using 4chan at 14, she would have started it at 11, which I guess makes it better, and that all the nude images being spread were actually pee. And in response to the grooming being really fucking smugged, did I groom you? Oh grooming victim, did I ever groom you? Order! Order on the ZLM court. You gotta tell him I didn't fucking do it, okay? Okay. So Pyro, did Elfin ever touch you in your special place? No? Alright, that's enough to me. Next! When people rightfully started to point out if that was true, she would have fabricated and distributed CP, which, it's kind of a crime. Silly her, I bet she would never do this. Elfin would refute this by saying she sent them to people her age, which was also a lie. Then, in the equivalent of a Queen's Gambit, Elfin would claim these nudes were actually made using top-notch AI tech, which was also a lie. But in a moment of mild brain usage, Elfin would admit to lying about everything and point out that her haters were actually partaking in the crime of revenge porn, receiving overwhelming support. Later on the 7th, Elfin would decide that enough was enough and that she would finally address all the allegations and clear her good name. We just had to wait until 6 PM. But it would seem though that she would leave much earlier than expected, announcing on her Discord and YouTube that she was retiring from Vtubing, an online career. She would then delete her Twitter, her Discord and YouTube channel, leaving nothing behind as she ran like the coward she was, finally putting an end to all of this. Rest in peace, goodbye, won't be missed, we won. We are all dancing on the Elfinpsyop grave. We won, guys. Even months later, her fans would still continue to mourn the loss of her Pakistani queen, scouring every corner of the internet to find her. So far, they have failed. Until recently, where she has been found on TikTok and Instagram with the tag #Fed and Void. The LARP never ends. Guys, Ted Kaczynski, Israel. Guys, please, I'm so relatable. She's living proof you cannot teach old dogs new tricks. At the end of the day, Elfinpsyop is a clear example of the negative effect neglect can have on you as a child. Having grown up to be an attention fiend who degraded herself constantly to such a degree where you could no longer discern from Elfin, the person, and the internet personality she had created. This truly says a lot about our society. And also, don't groom minors. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really neat to not